Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, let's get started. So, two-bit chart we have done. Okay, let's look at goal seek. Okay, we're talking about goal seek now, and then we'll talk about scenario manager. Okay, and then we'll talk about few graphs today. That's the plan for today, and then tomorrow we'll talk about analytics like correlation, regression, okay, those things. So we should wrap up. Okay, so let's take up example. Okay, now example is such a way that let's say you perform certain calculation in forward direction. Okay, you create certain direction in a forward direction. Okay, so that means, okay, let's say you have number of products. Okay, number of products is, let's say, 15. Okay, and quantity you bought is 68. So what is the total price you paid? Price would be number. Okay, okay, when I say number, it is like cost, let's say. Okay, so cost is, let's say, 15 rupees, and quantity you bought 68, so you will pay 1024. Okay, so this is how we create a forward query. Now the question is, if you had to pay 2000, if you had to pay 2000, okay, so this is simple forward one. The question is, if you paid rupees 2005, let's say we put rupees 2005. 2005? No. Okay, whatever. Let it come in decimal point, no worries. So if you paid 2005, then if the cost remains same, how many quantities did you buy? Okay, so if you paid 2005 and if the cost remains same, 15 rupees, then how many quantities did you buy? So one option is you go and change the formula. But can we do it without changing the formula? That's what goal 6 says. Okay, so I want to, okay, find quantity, right? I want to find quantity. So I'm going to put my cursor here, then go to data, and then you see what if analysis. Click on what if analysis, and here you have goal 6. Click on goal 6. So it says set cell. Which cell you want to set? So I want to set this B3. Okay, B3 I'm saying, right? Paid 2005. So to value 2005. By changing, this is where you will see B2. By changing, so It remains same. A remains same. We don't have to make any changes here. Now you say, okay. So you need to have a quantity of 133.666 to make a purchase of, okay, a bill of 2005. So goal SIG will be able to calculate the reverse value. Make sense? Simple. This is goal SIG. Okay. Now, let's talk about scenario manager. Okay, we are talking about scenario manager. The scenario manager is again under what if. Okay, so so if your salary increases to 10%, how much extra savings will you be able to make? So for this, let's say I will go ahead and create some kind of data. Here I'm going to say, okay, uh, components and amount. Yes. Okay. The components, let's say you have income from salary. Okay. You have income from agriculture. Okay. And income from other sources. Okay. So income from salary, let's say you have income of 75,000 from salary. Agriculture, you have, let's say 15,000. And other sources, you make 21,000, let's say. Okay. So your total salary or your total income rather would be sum of all these values. Okay. So let's highlight with some light blue. So this is your income. Now we'll talk about, let's say, expense. Okay. So you have the expenses components. I'll call this as say income components. So expense, you have rent, let's say utility bill, you have internet bill, phone bill, okay, grocery bill, okay. Then let's say fuel, let's say, okay. Let's say you have you buy clothes for yourself, you buy electronic items, okay, and let's say you have loan EMI. Total expense. Okay. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, can you add some values to this, making sure that total expense doesn't exceed your total income? Give me some value so that when I come, you can start giving me values. I'll start putting it here. Okay. Can you give me the values?
Yes, sir.
Rent, okay. So this is your total expense for the month, and that is your total income for the month. Okay. Now, total total savings is your income minus your expense. Okay, 9,300. Okay, So to perform scenario manager, okay, we need to go to same data, what if analysis, scenario manager. Okay, let's create various scenarios. So to create scenarios, you have to say add. Okay, I'm going to call it salary hike. Okay, so in salary hike, okay, let's assume your salary increases. Okay, so here I'm going to say something like this. Okay, so when you have salary hike, okay, what should happen? You're changing B2, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you say, okay. Oops. Oh, B, this was default one which we did not hit. Okay, B12, B2. Okay, so what is your new salary now? Let's say your new salary is now 85. Okay, okay. Okay, now let's say we'll add one more scenario. Scenario expense increase by changing, let's say, loan. So which is B16. Okay, and I'm saying instead of 39, let's say it becomes 41. So you can keep on adding multiple scenarios that you want to give. 3, 4, 5. Okay. And once you are done, then you click on show. Or if you want to see the summary, you can create on summary. So first let's create on show. Okay. So see, this is showing you. If I say show, this is what it showed. Okay. Value will change. Now if you click on summary, okay, and result, I'll put it in, let's say E1. Okay. So see, these are your current value which picked it. Okay, because we changed show, right? That's why it created this thing. Now it shows your salary hike and total the changes that you did. Okay, so these are the cells that it has. Okay, okay, sorry, let me delete it. Result we did not copy, right? Total savings we did not copy. So what if scenario manager, okay, show, then you go to summary, result cell, right? Result cell is your E1, right? I'll say E1. What happened? E1? No, not E1, B1. Ah, sorry. Why did it say E1? It is in B19, correct? Summary, B19. This is what you want to. Or if you want to see total income, total expense, and total saving, you can put all three cells together. And I say, okay. So see, B5, you can change it to income, you can change it to expense, and this is your savings. So it can create multiple scenarios with the values that you have given. Since we actually did show, right? So it actually did not change the values, okay? It gave all the values. Now, what I'll do is, I'll go to this data, okay? Not this one, right? This sheet 2, right? Not, yeah. Let's say we make it 75, okay? I will not do show. I will directly do summary, okay? And this is your 39,000, right? So now I'm going to go to data, what if analysis, scenario manager, okay? And now I will say summary, right? Summary, B5, B70, B90, okay? So you see, this is your current value. This is what happens, your salary increases to 85. This is what happens when your expense increases to 41. Okay, so the change sales that you will change is highlighted. Okay. Make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
This is your scenario manager. You can create multiple scenarios, okay? And you can keep on adding, right? You can see what happens when certain thing happens, you know? So then, okay, for next 10 minutes or so, let's try to plot different graphs that we have here, just to see how to use different plots. So I go to insert, and you see recommended charts, and you have some charts. So if I select some data, let's say I select programmer and basic salary, designation and basic salary. If you click on recommended charts, it's, you know, it's pre-populating this different data based on the columns that we selected. Okay, more or less, if you are interested, you can just simply say that. Now you can see this chart is created. So you can see how values ranges. You want to see the highest range? Manager. This manager has the highest range. Lowest, okay, this programmer has the lowest range. Okay, so you can even look at these. Okay, so this is, you know, you can create one graph. You can change the format, the way it looks. Okay, you can put a heading, salary distribution, we call it. Yeah, when you get into statistics, we talk about different types of data and what kind of analysis you can perform. You have chi-square test, ANOVA, correlation. Correlation we'll see tomorrow. Okay, correlation is something we can do it. We'll see tomorrow. Then you go to insert, and there's something called as spark line. Okay, so let's look at the spark line. This is interesting. Okay, I like it. Now, spark line, okay, for this, let's create a different data itself. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to this one itself. Let's say you have, you want to see how programmers' salary and manager salary have been changing over last 12 months. Okay. So you have this, let's say you have here Jan, Feb, and you have March, April, okay, November, December. Now I'm going to say here, rand between, let's say 35,000 to 85,000. Okay, and here I'm going to say rand between 70,000 to 1,10,000. And here I'm going to say rand between 95,000 to 1,40,000. Right? And I'll select this. Okay. I'll just simply I'll Control C and I will paste the value, paste values here. Okay, so that formula is gone. Otherwise, it keeps changing, right? Okay, so now you select this and then go to insert, and then you see you have spark lines. Okay, so you can select whichever column or win loss or line. Okay, I'll select line. So it says data ranges from this, and where do you want to display? So we need to select same number of values. So you have, okay, so I'll select from here till here, and okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, you have only 3, correct? Because one the data. Okay. Maybe, okay, let's remove 8. Okay, 8 is just the number, right? And here we'll say 14, 15, 16, 9, 10, 11. Hmm. Why it's showing like this? Let me change it to B. And here also I'll change it to B. Okay. Data. Okay. No, wait. Why it's B9 to M11, and I'm saying B14. Maybe, okay. So I think, let's select one row at a time. I think that's the problem. If you don't use often, right, you will tend to forget. Okay. So I think it has created now. What has it created? Mhm. Right. G. What happened? So, okay, I think, okay. So output is in one line only. Okay, so this is your data, right? So, okay, let's say, or, okay, let's do here itself. Okay, let me reduce this. Or you can do it here also, not a problem. Okay, but it is done in, okay, one row only. Okay, that's the mistake I was making. Spark line, and here I will say 1, 2, 3. Now you see this. Okay, it creates this, okay, spark line in one. So what it says is, okay, it gave us the trend. Okay, without doing much effort, we got the trend. It says salary was here. Then in March, Feb, you saw a slight dip. Then you got a slight increase in March. We have from, okay, Jan, right? Yeah. So Jan, Feb, March. In April, we saw a big dip. The salary decreased in April. Then again, it went up in May. Decreased here. Again, went up. Decreased. You know. So this tells you the trend. It shows that in April, okay, the salary of programmers decreased, but salaries of manager and leads increased, right? I mean, these are dummy data, right? So, but you understood, like, so you can see the trend. Spark lines are good, okay? So you take a entire data over period of time, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, and it will draw this line automatically. And to convert into bar graph, you can use bar graph. You want to see, generally when we have profit and loss, plus minus values, then we prefer the third type. Okay, then we prefer the third type, where it will show you, okay, below the reference, above the reference, below the reference like loss, below, above the reference profit, you can create the spark lines. All right. Then you can see how data is changing from Jan to December. Right. So you have data here, you have spark line here. April dip, May again, June dip, July again up, August dip, up, dip. Right? So this is good. You can use spark lines for showing that trend. Okay. You know what is chart scatter plot? Scatter plot is used to represent data between two different values. Okay. So when you have two numeric values, scatter plot will show you how one is changing with respect to other. For this one, let's say I want to find out how programmer salary is changing to lead salary. Is there any relationship between them? Is there any relationship between them? So you select these two, and then you go to chart and click on these dots. So now you see here, it kind of shows there's a almost, right, as the values on x-axis. So x is your lead, y is your programmer, right? No, other way around. It's other way around, right? Because first we have selected programmer. So programmer went to x-axis. And second we selected lead. So lead went to, you can also change the settings. You can add the values, but let's say we look at this data now. So if you see in a way, if you see, okay, as you increase the salary of the programmer, the lead salary also increased. So kind of it's going, okay, in the increasing order format, but not always same, right? There's some values here, okay, which are lower, these are higher, but still overall there's a positive trend. And how strong is the trend, we'll see tomorrow. Okay. So this is your scatter plot. Okay. So scatter plot shows the relationship between two different variables, one on x-axis, one on y-axis. And you will be able to know what happens if one increases. So if one increases, other also increases, we say there's a positive correlation between them. If one increases, other decreases, we say there's a negative correlation between them. And if you don't see any trend, okay, one increases, other decreases, other increases, like dots are all over, right? Then we say there is no correlation, right? These are how we actually use this thing. And tomorrow we'll talk more about this.
Okay.
Because, regression and all those concepts are based on this. Okay, we'll stop here for today. And we'll meet one more time tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, sir.
Bye.